What's good, guys? It's Nate and Jake from the Sanctum Squad here, coming at you guys with a new deck profile. This is from a first place OTS championship win, which I got yesterday at Dudley. Again, this is like my first big win outside of like a locals or something, which basically it means a lot to me.
It's nice to like experience your first sort of like win at like a bigger tournament or like a more important tournament, because like although OTS Store championships aren't like the biggest events, like people will obviously be more competitive in that tournament.
Exactly.
They want to do well, because there is like quite an expensive mat that you can win. But yeah, so we're gonna something that's funny as well is that this deck actually contains 5 cards that got banned today on the ban list. And so we're going to actually just go over this deck profile and we're going to explain why each card got banned, because we've played them all, we've experienced them all, so we know why they're broken. So let's go.
Cool. So we're just going to go through each engine specifically and then just work through it. So for the P.U.N.K engine, we play 3 copies of Foxy Tune, we play the 1 Ogre Dance, yeah, that's fine, the 1 Deer Note, and then the 3 copies of Xiamin, as well as the 3 copies of E-Telly. So this engine I think was quite empirical to the entire
so like I actually initially played like this is even bigger package. Like I actually played more Ogre Dances, but I think like if you cut those extra numbers out, then your mills are going to be better all the time.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It was just like making sure that the mills that we were getting to, I at least wanted to see either a tuner in those or at least a tier name, so then I could at least proc them and make sure I have stuff engraved that could actually, benefit me in later turns.
Something as well, like with the ban list, obviously we've lost Karlsruhe now, and that was like the whole reason to sort of play this now, along with Halki Firebrocks, I guess. But what I really like is that E-Telly has actually been like such a powerful card over the past like few months that look, they didn't hit it because they knew they didn't necessarily, they thought they didn't necessarily have to, because Hulk and Karlsruhe have gone now. I'm not saying like E-Telly's not going to be like a problem card in the future, but I'm glad that they didn't just kill it just to be like in fear that it might still be too good. I like that they're still like leaving it with us to like experiment with.
Yeah.
And like there are definitely still lines with this, just because like you can make the Shadow Vampire guy just by making the new P.U.N.K synchro, get you a free Ghost Ogre as well, and then you can actually revive a level 8 off Dino to make the Shadow Vampire. And obviously in this format, if you're doing that into like your opponent's tier deck, that's not very good. But then
it's kind of not the greatest.
But then if you're saying that's not very good, then like isn't playing the Ishizu stuff also bad? And like
it's literally just playing the Ishizu stuff before the Ishizu stuff even comes out.
It's got the same argument.
It's definitely something to test with, but obviously,
Karlsruhe was insane. I love that card.
I miss that card so much. Anyway, we'll carry on with the rest of the engines. So we'll go on to the tier engine now. So we play 3 copies of Merle. We also play 3 copies of Havnis, 3 copies of Shirin, and then subject to Jake, we were playing 2 Rhino, and then obviously 3 of the field spell. Now the reason
you got a few more,
and then also we got the Zodiac as well. Sorry,
I've got the instant fusion as well.
Yeah, we do.
So like this package is like and like in my profile as well. Like my tier package was like way smaller than this, and I think honestly the reason why I was doing that is because I was so excited about this deck, like being able to mill cards, is that I actually started putting in cards that I previously liked, just to be happy to like use them, like just for nostalgia reasons. Like for instance, I was playing like the Perform Mages and stuff. But I think the reality is you just cut all those stupid cards and you max on these cards because these cards are insane.
Yeah, every single tier name gets you into a guaranteed fusion. Yeah. And I think right before the event, I also changed one of the cards in my extra deck so I could at least make use on a lot more of the tier names, because I would cut one of the cards from Muddragon, and that ended up coming up in one of my matches, which is really nice. The reason why I said 2 Rhinos was because of the fact that it's you were using it off of the main effect for
Kit Coloss.
Kit Coloss, yeah. So it would be the main target to add from kit, and then you would obviously do the kit effect to summon the Rhino and make sure you get a guaranteed mill to trigger your tier names.
I think that's fine, but like I just don't think you need to play 2 to do that.
But it was also the Kaleido Heart play as well, because if you use this from grave, you get it banished. But I also wanted the extra one just in case if one of these went.
Yeah, I think it's like fine. Like I think like one of the reasons why I just played one of this is because it is a normal summon, and like I always wanted to normal summon Xiamin. But like you can mess around with the ratios.
Yeah. Even then, like I think in my last game that I played against, I was playing against Jamie, and I bounced this to my hand with Swamp because I at least wanted a guaranteed normal summon to go into that final turn.
Yeah, we were.
Because that turn was like really tense anyway. So
something interesting as well. Like sorry to interrupt you, Nath, something interesting about this card is that you can actually make Bahamut Shark with this card and Mud Dragon, because they're both like obviously level 4 waters. Because like now that like Ronin Toad is gone, like you've kind of like lost access to Toad.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's just correct to just want to include Toad because you can make it, but like it is definitely an option we can explore.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's one of the options that you can go through. But like,
what else have we got in this deck?
So we'll just move this out of the way.
So like all of these engines are actually like Aqua as well, except for just the Punk stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of Aqua stuff, we go on to the dangers. So we played only 2 Nessie, 1 Jackalope, and 1 Snake. I was going to pick up a 3rd Nessie on the day, but it never happened. So
literally play 3 if you have the 3rd. And look, we just didn't have one to play with.
Yeah. So this was literally the best that we could do. But then again, I didn't resolve hardly any danger effects the entire weekend. It was literally there for a backup plan just in case the main plan failed.
Yeah, like this one was nice because you could make Baron with this and zoom in, but like it's okay. Like
if we were also testing more with the deck, I think
this stays in the deck as well. Like, I think we still play these.
Of course, you still play the dangers. I think it's good to experiment as well because I wanted like a bigger link package, but that means now that we have to cut back on some of the other some of the necessities and previous necessities in the deck.
Well, something that I'm looking to experiment with is actually like Crystal Beast cards. So it's quite funny because with the Crystal Beast cards, the Tortoise is level 3, as is Havnis, so you actually get Cherubini access there, which could potentially send a Water Enchantress. And then at the point where we're playing like the Crystal Beast Trap and a Brave engine, we could include Souls. Yeah. So that's going to be definitely a deck that I'm going to be experimenting with.
Well, it's something all to just like. I still think this deck has maybe messing around with it just to see how it goes. Well, so into the other engine, we play 3 copies of Swap Frog and the 1 Ronin. Unfortunately, this is now gone, so this engine becomes a little bit of filler space, I guess.
Yeah, so like we personally think that Live Twins now is going to be the way to make you totally awesome, because obviously the Kissy Kill Frost is an Aqua monster, and as is Swap Frog, and then like Swap Frog won't feel so bad then. But we don't know yet. Like Toad just might not be worth going for. But I don't know. I'm not convinced that Toad's presence is out the meta yet.
Yeah, but we'll just see how it goes. Really.
Early days, isn't it?
Yeah. Like you'll still see him with Merly as well.
Yeah. Okay. And then we go on to another tuner, which is one of the MVPs of the deck. Really, is 3 copies of Plague Spreader Zombie. I love this card throughout the entire.
It's insane. Like I can't believe how good this card felt.
So you can obviously grab this off with your Howl combo, but you can also if you minute off of a tier name. If you haven't already used one of the tier names for a fusion, you can literally stack it back to the top of the deck with the Plague Spreader.
You can stack anything that you want to mill, and then
This allowed me to make Baron so many times during the weekend, but also like
this and Chaos Ruler make Baron.
Yeah, exactly. So it was.
And then you also play the other guy, who's the other zombie.
Yeah, so we'll also include this as well. So I was playing 1 copy of Shinobi Necro as well, just in case of. I didn't have access. I had basically 4 copies of Plague Spreader Zombie, because when I activated the Chaos Ruler to bring it back, I would always make sure that I included Necro, so I could summon it back, so I could easily.
These cards have like cool synergy as well.
Yeah, because Shinobi Necro says when a card.
Yeah, so if this is on the field and you revive Plague Spreader Zombie, this says that you draw a card and then discard a card, so it basically makes it so the card that you stacked with Plague Spreader is like discarded instead. Yeah. Which is just a neat piece of synergy that like it didn't necessarily need to do.
Yeah, exactly. But
and then Destrudo is part of the tuner package.
Yeah, we have Destrudo as well, which actually came up in my game against Alex. Like if I didn't Destrudo, I probably would have lost that entire match.
Yeah, so like I was watching the match against Alex, and like honestly, Alex, you deserve to have won, to be honest. Like you played so sloppy in that match, but
yeah, of course.
Yeah, you just pulled it back.
It is what it is. And then we play the other 3 monsters in the deck. So we play 1 copy of Gizmekarochi. We played the 1 copy of Spell Canceller, obviously to bring back for Baron. Sorry, Dan. And then we also play the 1 copy of Snow.
So like this is something that is interesting, because like this is something we added in on Thursday to play, but then you could shoot him as a dragon.
Yeah.
So like you couldn't pick to choose these, just whenever mill them whenever you want.
Yeah. But then there was also Curious in the deck.
I guess you're alright. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd definitely still have played Shooting Riser.
Yeah.
3 Snows too.
Well, I mean, like Shooting Riser was great, but there was another card in the extra deck that took priority. That's why I needed to make room for it. And then we go on to the last few cards in the deck. So I played 1 copy of Foolish Burial, and then I played 3 copies of Super Poly. This going into the on the day of the event was going to be Dark Ruler No Mores, but I decided to play Super Poly instead, which ended up being the better card. Mainly because of the fact that going into, I'd played a lot of Math Mech the day before, and also I was just afraid of like the Tears mirror and the board that they would leave up anyway.
In terms of the Tears mirror, like just for people who may be looking to pick up the deck post banlist, what would you say is the optimum place to super poly an opponent's Tears board, like reactively?
Reactively, it's just whether or not they have like. If they've left up any of the Tears names that they've actually not used, like they've used, or the Rhino Heart, and then making sure that you can just go off on their plays. But it's also,
to be honest, with Super Poly, I think
it's a bit weird.
Yeah, I was about to say it's such a weird card right now.
I don't think it's like amazing against Tears. I actually think it's like a last resort sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I think like there are so many decks that will just accidentally play into this card just because of like a Garura and Mud Dragon, like basically netting the amount of monsters that like that falls into that context that gets summoned next to each other is amazing. Like you get so many cards.
The deck can just play no matter what the interruption.
And sometimes as well, people just can't play around Super Poly.
Exactly.
Like, and if they can't, they lose.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much all of the cards in the main deck. And then we just go on to the extra deck. So we'll go on to Synchros first. And the two obvious ones will be one copy of Chaos Ruler and one copy of Baron. Chaos Ruler is pretty necessary for the combo. It's basically mill 5. And
it's so free.
It's so free.
It's so broken. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see these cards get hit. To be honest, I think like we've said, like with the P.U.N.K synchro as well, because like, that's the card that you're looking to replace this with now. Like that card was never going to see play while this was legal. Like this is just such like a better version of it, and like this card has been like broken for a while now, I think, and like a lot of decks have like abused this card for all sorts of crime.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like it is a shame. Like I think this was my favourite synchro monster.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like Baron's like amazing.
Yeah, Baron's amazing. I think
brings back Spell Cancer as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just an added extra for the deck, really. We'll go into the rest of the fusions. So we played one copy of Kit the Colossus, one copy of Kaleido Heart, one copy of Drax the Paleo, one copy of Garura, and one copy of Mud Dragon. This was Shooting Riser beforehand. But I decided to change it because of the fact that running around with like this many fusions, I didn't feel safe, obviously, without having some kind of protection. And
so, I noticed because like I saw some of your games and you had Rhino Hearts on your end board, like you had a Rhino Heart. So I thought like what exactly has happened here, because I typically make Shooting Riser with it.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you're not playing Shooting Riser, then like there isn't a lot more you could do unless you do summon this to get to Dweller.
Exactly.
But like I don't know, I always just felt comfortable with Shooting Riser actually. But
yeah, I guess that was it. But like this did come up in the majority of my games, and the fact that they can't respond as well, like they can't target any of the dark monsters, and having these two resolve is like the biggest thing. And
like obviously as well, like, this is probably just correct to do now because you don't play. Like, are you going to play Riser without Snow? Probably not.
Probably not. And then we'll just go quickly onto the Exceed. So we play one copy of Abyss Dweller, one copy of Ronin Tonin, one copy of Totally Awesome, and one copy of Gigantic Sprite. So this was part of the combo to summon the Totally Awesome.
Yep.
And you would make this with obviously with the Hulk combo,
Hulk and Plague,
and a Plague or another level 2 that you have on board.
Yeah.
Didn't make Abyss Dweller too much. I don't think I actually made Dweller the entire weekend, but then again, I never played against Tears, so.
You didn't play the Mirror.
Oh, I didn't play the Mirror, which is sad. And then for the rest of the links, we play one copy of Elf. Well, another copy of Elf. Sorry. So we play 2 copies. One copy of Dark, one copy of Hulk, and one copy of Curious.
So how good was Curious? Was he worth a spot?
I barely made him all weekend.
I didn't think you did.
I didn't need to. Like,
I think this could have been Shooting Riser.
This could have just been Shooting Riser, but then again, this also could have been any better link.
Yeah.
Like, but
the extra deck was.
Yeah, it was just there for the necessity.
Part of the problem with like, one of the issues this deck has as well is that if you do actually get your board broken, there's not a lot to do because you actually burn like loads of your extra deck in the first turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Irish by reward, don't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's just how you.
And then we'll just go on to the side deck. So this is 3 copies in the Biru, 3 copies of Gamma, 1 Drive, and then for the last few cards, 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Red Reboot, which is.
I think Cosmic Cyclone should have been.
Fuck off, man.
Yeah, so Dan plays all the degenerate trap decks, so like He's really happy. Danny's really happy that Reboot is gone.
Of course.
Why wasn't this just a Galaxy Cyclone? Because like I saw you keep milling these, and these could have been like mine outs.
Yeah, they could have been. I think that would have been the better case, like the case if I'd have just had more time.
And I
with
think it could still be applicable as well if obviously Mystic Mine sticks its head in the format again.
On the subject of Mystic Mine, how often did you get Mystic Mine in the tournament, and how easy was it to play around?
Jamie tried to mine me in round 5, and Toad took his mine.
Is that the only time I saw mine?
That was the only time I saw mine.
Mad.
We had spell cancer in the moment.
Yeah, so it didn't really matter anyway. But Nate's card was 3 copies of A Pointer of the Red Lotus.
This got hit as well.
Yeah, I know. So we had 6. But
this is just like a banlist speedrun.
This is literally just a banlist speedrun. But the reason why I played A Pointer, it was either this or Anti-Spell, because I wanted a decent enough card going first. But obviously with the tier names, it's very hard to see it. So
obviously as well, something that we can still do now is like you can griffin stuff like this at your grave. But like if you're going to do that, you'd probably want the virus cards or something.
Yeah, something along those lines. And then the last card was Punisher, because I wanted a good card going second in the extra deck, which I didn't really have at the time.
That's fair.
And I just wanted a.
So which extra deck card did you side out?
Would have been.
It was Elf.
Yeah, it was Elf.
Yeah.
It was always the second copy of Elf, because I always felt like, whenever I was playing games, it always got Ultimate Slave back to the extra deck. I was like, sound. So I didn't really mind. So yeah, that's the profile, guys. Hope you really enjoyed it. Again, like, this was a list I really enjoyed piloting throughout the entire weekend.
I was in love with that deck. I thought it was so cool.
It was like so nice, and like 5 of the cards out of it.
It's smashed to pieces.
Yeah, literally. And this was a list that obviously this is Jake's deck that you already pre-built, and I was actually looking about picking up these cards myself. And that's the annoying thing about this, is that because of the ban list hit on this exact day, like now it's kind of ruined.
Just be grateful that you didn't buy any cards yet.
Yeah, that was true. But yeah, that's.
Thank you for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe.
And if you want to see a profile from a top event that didn't have any hits on the list, be sure to watch Dan's video.
There you go.